All right, everyone, welcome to tonight's episode of Three Dudes, One Zoom. What's today, April 9th. It is 7:37 p.m. for a lovely evening edition. It's a special episode for Sir. We got our guest star, Mitch, who we'll introduce for a minute, and we got our first sponsor here in the history of the podcast. Welcome to the podcast, Stickium. Here's all we need to Stickium, all we need to stick things together sometimes. We have the perfect product for you. One use of Stickium will keep things together forever. Results may vary with relationships. So go buy Stickium today. Stickium, Stickium. Stickium. All right, guys. So I'm Teach, your host, Corey, Tyler,
Hello.
Mitch. All right, Mitch, give a little background on yourself before we start.
All right. For those that may or may not know, I'm 33 years old. I live in a small suburban town, about 5 minutes away from our lovely hosts. I sling TV guides and Viagra pills for work, mailman, and on the weekend, I'm the one dominating and intimidating these three knuckleheads on face-offs in beer league. So I'm the guy everyone's like, oh crap, I gotta face this dude. So.
All right, so
Accurate.
you might remember from our last episode, a certain tweet was mentioned by one Mitch. And, well, our friend Mitch here heard the comment.
I will say I heard from unnamed sources, but that's okay. I mean, it is.
He's a big fan of our podcast. What happened is he listened to the podcast and he heard some talk about it. And the tweet it mentioned is, and I'll read it for many. I think we had like 110,000 listeners last time, so shout out to all of them.
I feel bad for those mopes around the world.
They're great people. And the question was, have you ever had sex in your dream and felt it? Mitch responded, every morning. So, Mitch, you okay?
Oh, man.
How was this morning?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah. You're gonna come to a point where you're gonna have dreams, and you're gonna be like, "Wait, did I actually have sex in the dream versus real life?"
Mitch with the wet dreams every night.
When you wake up with a with a mile high salute in about 6 in the morning, you're like, "Okay, all right, this is awesome."
So, are you upset with Corey? Do you have a feud brewing with Corey?
No, there's no. I
thought it was just a great tweet. That's all.
I never thought there was any beef or anything to begin with.
You said you're gonna take care of whoever speaks your name.
That's just, you know what it is? There's nothing wrong with people selling noise and speaking on my name. It's okay. I'm living rent free in a lot of people's heads. I mean, join the bloody queue. So,
Mitch, I love it. I love it. That's tweet of the year for me, at least.
I mean, look. I mean, we see these things on social media. It's the weirdest accounts, and I mean, look, you see it, you're like, okay.
I've seen a bunch of people like reply to that account. Like, Chen's a big fan of that account.
I think please do not mention him for the love of Pete's sake, dude.
That doesn't surprise me that Chen is a big fan.
Chen's a big. Liam would send me screenshots all the time of his replies.
He would send them from that actual page, or just like any like the horrible accounts.
No, like that. Like he'd respond to that page, like most of their tweets, and like them and stuff. That's really efficient.
For people that don't know, Liam and Chen are friends of the podcast.
Oh yeah, my bad.
They may or may not be on at a later point.
Chen will not be on.
Chen's
100%. Liam, I'm going to try to get on. He's funny. He's probably the funniest kid that we'll ever have on.
We're never going to have Chen.
Liam would come on in a second.
I will see this, and I'm seeing this with a very heavy heart, because we both are fans of Michael Queso and of one said Don LaGreca. I will quote LaGreca. If he's on, I will not be on. I will walk out of the studio. I don't care. You can do the interview by yourself. I will not be in the same room on that. So.
I don't blame you. You'll probably get roasted the whole time.
I think we should just have Mitch and Chen on and have them debate against each other.
But you know, and there's really nothing to. I mean, look, there's really no. I don't think I'm not against Chen. I mean, to be honest with you, it's just
you liked his leg when you rubbed it that one time.
Love his leg.
Background story. Hold on. Mitch, background on that is Mitch went to itch his leg. He itched Chen's leg and then felt satisfaction. Felt better.
No, I did not feel any satisfaction. Yeah. Get that thought out of your head. Okay?
The itch went away after itching Chen's leg. The itch went away.
Tyler, I'm not gonna lie. It looked like you were giving yourself a tuggy right now. So.
Hey, it's a kids show.
You know, kids. I feel bad for the kids that do watch this.
110,000 people watch this, Mitch, so I won't even.
There's got to be some kids in there.
All right, Mitch.
And God have mercy on those kids.
Mitch, are you going to be able to? Are you going to not leave the studio tonight like you said you would if Chen was here? Or you want to stick around for the show? Or are you good now?
Yeah, we actually have a treat for you.
Like I said, I have nothing against Chen. It's just, for some reason he just wants to tee off on me when I did nothing to him. So if you're gonna like tee off and shit, I mean,
there's some heat on with Chen and Mitch. Jeez, I didn't know that.
That's for another podcast.
We have a 33-year-old feud with a 21-year-old child.
Who's from the Orient.
Who acts a lot younger, but.
Hey, I mean, I'll say this. At least I don't have to, go on accounts to buy followers. I'll just say that.
Okay. Okay. We're not.
At least I know my followers.
We are. Wow. So we are not here to talk about the Chen Mitch thing. We're here to talk some sports. You ready, Mitch?
There we are. Yes. Bring it on.
We're gonna dive right into the first topic. Big story last night is the indictment of former MLB outfielder Josh Hamilton for abuse of a minor. He hit his one daughter. Accused of 14. Hitting his one daughter in September. It was 14. The Dallas Morning News reported this. His attorneys came out saying he's innocent. Hamilton's facing up to 2 to 10 years in jail. He was released on bond after turning himself in. Former great player. I mean, he's remembered all time for that 2008 home run derby first round at the old Yankee Stadium. He's with the Reds, the Rangers, 10-year career. He also had he's always been battling alcohol and drug issues, which have made a lot of people root for him and made him a hero for a lot of people that like fighting against those and overcoming those. To have a pretty legend. He won an MVP one year. Overall great player, like one of the best hitters you'll see. Guys, thoughts? Corey, you want to
I don't watch baseball that much, and I've heard of his name and everything. I didn't know what he went through or anything, but when I first heard that story, like, what a piece of shit. But it's just, how old's the daughter?
14.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I hope it's not true.
Obviously.
It's not, but you hope it's not true. I mean, the guy's been through hell, back to hell. Tried. When you're dealing with.
He's been sober since August, right? It said, and that happened in September.
But there's been multiple times where he's relapsed. He's got sober, then relapsed, sober, then relapsed. Like, if you look at his career, it's like 2007, then 2008 to 12. Then he missed, then 13, 14, he was with the Angels, and then back 15. This guy's a 5-time All-Star. He won MVP in 2010, I see here. 200 career home runs. He just can never stay consistent
it's sad.
Because of the issues.
Yeah, it's sad what he's been through and stuff, but like I don't know. Still.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I mean, when you're dealing, just because you say, oh, you're sober or whatnot, it doesn't mean you're completely out of the woodwork. It means, yeah, you're out of the woodwork for now, but you always have those demons in the back at any given second. It could just take one false, whether it's being surrounded with the wrong people, wrong place, wrong time, and then it opens up a world of trouble again. And once again, I share the same sentiment. You hope to God this is not true. You hope to God this is just like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we got to see. I mean, hopefully it's not true, yeah, but if it, that's rough luck.
Thank you.
So I got, it says what Hamilton's daughter told the authorities. It says Hamilton started cursing and yelling after he became upset about something she said, and then threw a full water bottle at her, hitting her in the chest. Then he yanked a chair from beneath her feet and threw it at her before he pulled her to the ground. The affidavit said, I don't know how to say that word. Hamilton. That's the word. Affidavit. Hamilton then slung the girl over his shoulder and took her to the bedroom as she yelled that she was sorry. The affidavit said. She said he tossed her onto the bed, pinned her with one hand, and he started hitting her legs with his other hand. He later picked her up by her sweatshirt, ripping it, and hit her on her back. She said Hamilton then continued to berate her verbally. I hope you go in front of the expletive judge and tell him what a terrible dad I am. And so I don't have to see you anymore, Hamilton said.
Yeah, that's rough.
I mean, you almost just read it here and that for the first time and think it had to be the drugs came back, alcohol came back, and it's just another thing. Like, it's sad. It's like, what could have been? Like, he's another one when you talk about you think when he was healthy, the guy was great. I mean, he's one of the best hitters in the game when he was healthy, and it just every time his career would get derailed. Really sucks. All right, so moving on to our next topic, the one we'll be covering probably for the next month, just because of the interest of everyone involved in this podcast, is the latest with the National Hockey League.
Yes, sir.
Last night,
Mm.
Bobrovsky, almost messed this up. Florida Panthers goalie said, I almost called him Columbus Blue Jacket goalie. Said that
Maybe
they
because
don't.
a former.
I almost called him a Philadelphia Flyer goalie.
I honestly God thought that first, but I didn't want to go that far back and look that bad that I missed two teams. He said last night that he didn't want to jump right into the regular season. That was followed up with this evening a leak from the NHL saying that they will do everything possible to avoid missing regular season games. They'll at least play some, maybe not a full 82, but they'll at least get a few more in so everyone plays the same amount of games. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, because Florida's not in the playoffs, so I mean,
Right.
we're not. The Rangers aren't in it either, so I mean,
Rangers aren't.
I like what he's saying. I like what he's saying. So I mean, you gotta get some playoff game or some regular season games in, you know.
I mean, the problem is though. I mean, I do understand his sentiment. Like, you know, you shouldn't go right into the playoffs, but I mean, yeah. If you look at how the schedule is, there's some teams that are, you know, a couple games ahead of everyone. So you would have to kind of pick which games and then get everyone in line in order so that everyone gets the same amount of, you know, reps in. But in the other sense, it's going to be unfair. So let's say if one team that was fighting for a playoff spot only had maybe, I don't know, a couple games to prove it. I don't think that would be actually fair. And then you got another team, they would have a couple more games to prove. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Why did team A get, let's say, 4 games to prove it, and yet Team B only had 2 games to prove it?
Would you be okay if they all agreed to play all up to 75 games?
Yeah.
Mitch?
I would.
Wait,
Yeah.
how many games have most teams played?
I think
like
some have played 70.
70.
Some.
Yeah, 70 is like the most, I think.
Some
71.
are 68, right? Isn't there a few at 68?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully I'll be going to see some Ranger games on my birthday.
That ice will be terrible in mid-July in Madison Square Garden. Tank, any thoughts?
I'm not caught up on everything, so I've got nothing.
Tank just hopes hockey comes back soon.
Basically.
Yeah, we need it. We need some good hockey games.
Let's say that. I mean, but if the season does start up, I think you would hope. Like, let's say they did start up. Yeah. Oh, mark my word when I say this. Tickets will be next to nothing cheap because they just want anyone in stands. Period.
Well, if
They're
there's fans allowed, if they're going to allow.
If they are allowed. I mean.
Because the way they're talking is doing what the MLB's talking about, where they're start elsewhere with no fans. So, and the UFC's coming back. Who's going to be the first one back now?
No, didn't UFC? Didn't they cancel?
They just canceled it. Dana, that was a report. I think like 30 minutes before.
Got it.
He said that. Wait, I think he said that. Dana White had gotten word from both Disney and ESPN, the higher ups there, and they basically told him to back off. Because
I saw that.
He thought he could secure a private island and do it there, where there would be like no one there, but at the same time, it's like, yeah.
And you gotta get the fighters.
Yeah.
A lot of staff for a UFC event. Gotta have a lot of security.
Was Khabib supposed to fight?
If he was, I doubt it. I think they would.
Yeah, he was supposed to fight.
Was he? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because then you need a lot of security because he's known to jump out of the rink and go attack people.
Yeah.
So.
Another one that was supposed to fight in that fight was on the women's side, Rose Thug or Rose Namajunas. She was supposed to, but then she backed out because she had 2 deaths related to COVID. So that that triggered, you know, certain sentiment with her, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna." And
you got Cardi B still saying it's fake.
Well, we're not gonna even. No, don't worry. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that, Mitch.
It's not fake. It's just the Chinese government created it.
Okay, first.
Chinese flu.
You're talking about COVID. I thought you were talking about the UFC.
Chinese flu.
The first text that went out about this group chat was from Corey to the group chat of the 3 main
Cardi
people.
B isn't politics.
No, where he said no politics, and then Tank's blaming the Chinese government on here, which I do agree with actually. But we'll talk about that on another one.
Chinese
that's a post show that you got to subscribe to. Thanks
we'll set that aside for another on an undisclosed episode.
That'll be Tank and Offensive, our political podcast. That's been on.
That should be Tank and Ray Rand versus like every other person that plays in our league.
Two very uneducated conservatives, so that'd be good.
Because that would. If you really want to add more gasoline to the fire, you could throw in Cleary as well. So
he is very uneducated, though. He actually.
At least I know a little bit. Come on, now. I'm not that uneducated. Like
I
Ray
never
Rand
said
and Cleary in there.
Talk to your boys, man. That's your boys. They're
Throw me right under the bus.
I'm just being honest. I think I've talked politics with you. Can't really go deep into.
I like the Cleary in there.
I'm just saying, if you really want, I'll leave it at this. If you really want to amplify a really good podcast episode or a group chat or something, you get everyone in here and you do a point counterpoint, and it's Tyler. And I'm pointing downward. Right, yeah, lean back. Okay. Then you got Ray Rand, who he wouldn't agree with, but I think if I entice him and make sure that his mail and his packages are on time, he probably would agree to it. And then to Cleary, you would probably have to entice him with like alcohol or like a midget stripper, for all I know. I mean,
that's an excellent segue, Mitch, to our next topic. So, all right. Anywho, back to the beauty of this podcast, and we'll definitely not edit anything Mitch just said out. So there was a thing going around Twitter last night, and I sent it to Corey, I think. What's one game in sports history you wish you could attend? And if you looked in either the Snapchat group chat or Instagram group chat this morning, you would have seen this question was listed in the topics page. There you go, Tank.
He said that.
Oh, okay. So what's one game, and I'll call on people and they will talk instead of Mitch and everyone else jumping all over each other. What's one game in sports history you wish you would attend Little C?
All right.
And why?
This is an obvious one. Why? Okay. Well, I'm a Ranger fan, so I would do the 94 Game 7, and because I've never seen any of my teams win a championship. So just being there would be sick as fuck.
To clarify, you mean the Texas Rangers?
Oh, yeah. Big Texas Rangers.
Yes,
no,
big Texas Rangers fan.
No, the New York Rangers. My boy Messier and the boys getting it done. Hopefully, we see another cup win soon, but that would be my game right now.
Yeah, we're cursed. You won't ever see another one. They won one Stanley Cup since they cured.
Panarin's gonna bring us there.
Okay, we'll talk about Panarin on a whole nother thing. Tank. Tyler Arnold.
Come back to me.
Well, originally I was gonna agree with Corey on that one, but I will rewind. It's kind of a toss-up between the Game 6 of the '96 World Series between Atlanta and the Yankees, and I actually would revisit, and this is for sentimental purposes, the tribute game to Thurman Munson, where Bobby Mercer basically carried a team in its entire back, and the fact that there was so much emotion and there was so much pain and agony in every one of the players on that field, and for as much as for a few seconds they can get their mind off of it, it was good. And then as soon as the joy settled, everything just came rushing right back to the surface.
Yeah,
I would probably lean a little bit more towards for celebration purposes. I would probably lean towards 96.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Thurman Munson was a Yankee captain, got killed in a plane accident. Bobby Mercer, his best friends, had one of the best games of his career the next day. I actually looked over there because of my Thurman Munson shirts right there. It's one of the all-time great Yankees. They actually almost got rid of the captaincy after him because they thought no one could replace him after he passed. Later went to Guidry, Mattingly, and all them.
What about Rangers Bruins? Just a sock Melberry when he's in the stands.
I mean, if you're just looking to get a laugh out of someone or enjoy a game, that's a big difference.
If we're talking full-on brawls, I would say that one.
Basketball.
Oh, yeah, the Malice in the Palace. The Pistons Pacers.
The funny thing about that game was, James, I saw that on ESPN. I was like, oh my God, like these guys are going at it like it's a street fight. The next morning, I had a meeting at my old job at 7 a.m, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. We couldn't even talk about what we wanted to do for the store because everyone was just talking about, yo, did you see what happened in Detroit? And we're all like, yeah.
That's when basketball was great.
There's that.
Tank, did you come up with a game yet?
Yeah. Either the '86 World Series because I'm a Mets fan, or
Which
Miracle. I don't think well they won it all, obviously.
What
Last
game was that, Tank? Game 7, bro.
Damn.
Game 6, it went through
Yeah, Paul
Buckner's legs.
I actually, you know what? That's another
That's a
game
great
I
game.
kinda would. It's funny
Yeah.
because that game I would like to attend just because Boston had it. It felt like it had everything wrapped up, and Shea Stadium prematurely said congratulations to the Boston Red Sox, and as soon as that
Champagne
happened,
was in the locker room, Mitch.
was that?
The champagne was in the locker room of the Red
Yeah.
Sox already.
Well, yeah. I mean, you had everything set up, but they prematurely, before the final out, said congratulations to the 1986 World Champion Boston Red Sox. And as soon as that happened, one base hit after another, and then before you know it, a wild pitch, and then through Buckner's legs, and everyone thinks that was the game. When
Do
actuality,
you know who was on?
There
Does
was another
anyone know
game,
who
yeah.
was? Does anyone know who was on the call? In the
Go ahead,
announcers
T.
booth?
Hit him with some trivia.
Vince Scully gets by Buckner, all-time legend, greatest baseball announcer since Red Barber. Anywho,
Guys
Tank,
from Fordham.
great Fordham, as Michael K is too.
Mm-hmm.
My game, Tank mentioned Miracle on Ice. Like that's another one, like the '86.
That's a really good one.
The Buckner
Yeah.
game. It's Game 6. Like there was a Game 7 the next night where the 1980 Soviet game they had to play Finland, which is the forgotten game. Where
Weren't
Herb
they
Brooks-
losing too?
Yeah, they were losing.
And
going
Herb
in
Brooks
the
is like,
third.
"You guys, you got to take this to your grave."
It's a great, like, that's all he said in the locker room. It's the greatest intermission speech ever given. It's like, you'll die with this. No, but to beat the Soviets after they just literally, like, a couple weeks before got trounced at the Garden, it's by far the greatest U.S. sports moment ever. So that's by far February 22nd, 1980, Lake Placid. And it's such a small venue, too. That's what made it sick. Like, if it was at the Garden, 18,000 people, it almost loses a little bit because it's such a close, intimate arena with, like, the fans are right there. That's such a legendary game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the
I
birth of
agree.
U.S. hockey. If you look at the growth of U.S. hockey from that game till now, it's exponential. Like, you wouldn't have the Leaches, the Caners, name another, Matthews, Eichel, all those guys you could trace without the miracle that never happens. Because 1960, they won gold too, the forgotten miracle. And it's like the growth that came. The 60s guys inspired the 80s guys. The 80s guys inspired this whole run, which they should have won in 2010, but Canada's a piece of shit.
And then 2014 was just disappointing.
That they fell apart after the Russian game. That was after they beat the Russians.
the Oshie game?
They fell
the Oshie
apart.
game,
Yeah, they fell apart. They lost to Finland in the bronze, I think. That was terrible. That was a disgrace to U.S. hockey.
That was horrible.
All right.
Bad Olympics.
So moving on to our next and final topic. The reason we actually had Mitch on today for this one is talking hockey and stuff. And laughs. That's the main reason we had Mitch on. Mainly laughing at Mitch, not with Mitch. We're here to talk. Sorry, Mitch.
That's all right. That's all good.
So for background, we all play in the greatest roller hockey league Warwick Valley has ever had. Yeah, that too. The Warwick Roller Hockey League, which is in negotiations actually to sponsor this podcast. Their president's got to get back to me. He's an asshole. But
you would have to talk to. I heard you had to talk to their HR department, but that's just me speaking.
I know that guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Shout out Wes.
Wes.
So Mitch actually has a pretty interesting story with hockey because he didn't start playing till late. So Mitch, you want to tell how did you get into hockey?
I remember Mitch's first hockey game.
Excuse me. We're talking to Mitch.
Why don't we let Corey tell my story while we're at it? Games.
I just thought of something really funny. Go ahead.
We're here to talk to Mitch.
Let him tell it. No, I mean,
I was gonna tell the story of Mitch's first ever hockey game that he played. But keep going.
All right. So my story kind of dates even before I even skated. I unfortunately dealt with a personal tragedy that even to this day I still kind of am in the process of recovery and whatnot. In 2014, a friend of mine had gotten engaged, and I went to his rehearsal, and he was like, "I want to be one of my groomsmen." So without even hesitation, I go, absolutely. I go, I have your back. Me and this kid knew each other since we were old enough to crawl. So one day I just looked at myself in the mirror, and I was just like, all right, kind of got to get into shape. So I had gotten a pair of rollerblades. So I was just like, all right, let me just skate around, I guess. So little by little, start with that. And I was spending a lot of time down in the city. So I started to look up rinks in the 5 boroughs. And all that in those areas to see where I can just get a pickup game or just anything just to get myself active. And in that process, one day I found myself driving past the rink that we play at over at Warwick, and I was like, all right, this is not too bad. Maybe I can, skate here, I guess. So one day I just needed to clear my head, and I was like, you know what, just get out of the house. I just need to, just me and my thoughts. And I get down to the rink, and I see Corey's dad and two other guys, there, and I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, well, I wanted private time to myself. So I got out of the vehicle, my car, and Corey's dad's like, Mitch, what are you doing here? And I go, what am I doing? What are you doing? He's like, oh, we're getting ready for our league. You want in? And without even hesitating, I go, yeah, I'm in. So at that moment, I kind of said to myself, fuck the city, fuck, trying to find leagues down there. I just found a league that's 5 minutes away from my house. That's where I'm going at. So little by little, I was like, all right, get a good pair of, I had the skates, all I need are gloves and a couple other things. Transitioning into Corey's quote-unquote segue, my first game, I walked in thinking I was the king, all that in a bag of chips, and I probably humbled myself within a matter of 5 seconds.
Wait, are you talking about Primo or your first game in Warwick?
The first game in Warwick.
We're
I was talking about Primo.
The games that
floor
matter
hockey.
at Warwick.
Primo.
That's floor hockey.
Yeah,
That's floor
Primo was
hockey.
actually Primo. Was like
No, I know, but
Primo wasn't bad because it was like, all right, yeah, I could run around and whatnot, but like at the same time, it was like I need more.
do you remember we were playing and everyone was taking shots on the clear because there was no defense. It's floor hockey, so no one took it serious. And bitch, you come running in, you're like, my turn. You go in to shoot it, completely miss the ball, you trip over your foot.
At that time, I didn't know how to properly put myself in placement of a shot. I didn't know where I should be in certain positions. I didn't know a lot of it.
That was my favorite.
At that moment, it was just a matter of it was like on the fly, running gun type mentality.
And you even played ice hockey with us too for a little bit. Like when you go to play pond hockey.
I mean, pond hockey, yeah. I mean, it was like, yeah, it was only one time. The skates are still in my car. And every moment you think, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go out and skate and whatnot. It's like, oh, can't. Sorry. Something else comes up. And you're like.
Have you gone to Skylands at all to like play down there? Or have you only done pond?
I wanted to. Once again, it's just a matter of just getting down there and obviously we can't because we're all pretty much on glorified house arrest, but.
When this is all good or whatnot, we should all go to Stick and Puck and shoot around.
No, for sure. Yeah, I definitely would think we would all need it. Like I said,
that's hockey in a minute.
Yeah,
like I said, be getting Morristown soon.
For those that don't know, there's a league in Morristown we play in. Skylands is an ice rink in northern New Jersey that we go play at when there's no ice outside.
Are you excited for Morristown?
I just want to, like I said, at this point, I don't know when we are actually going to get a chance to skate. I just want to get back out there because, like I said, the first, rewinding, going back 5 years ago, that first game, it literally, and to where I am right now, my learning, I'm still a work in progress. When I watch games, even, it doesn't even have to be the Rangers. It could just be any random game on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, and I'm sitting there and I'm just trying to just taking notes. I'm just like, okay, where are the centers at? Where are the wingers? How are they defending? How is this player taking face-offs in certain situations? So it's a matter of, yes, I am a fan of the game, but I'm also a student of the game. So I'm able to and it's us because there are times where even when I'm at Ranger games with my girlfriend, yes, I am a fan, but it's
shocker. We know Mitch has a girlfriend.
No, the fans don't know. I'm sorry. I have to lay it out there. No, but
Mitch, quick question: what's your biggest inspiration in hockey? Like, is there a player that you look up to? Is there a person you met along the way?
It's okay. You don't have to say it's me. I get it.
Wow, you're lobbying for votes. Wow, I definitely see a political future in your.
If you say it's James, I'll never talk to you again. So
no,
if you say it's James, I'll never talk to you again.
Are we talking like in our league or
no?
or hockey in general.
Just in
Any-
general.
Let's do
Could
both.
be any-
Let's do both. Let's do both.
It could be a person you met along the way playing hockey. It could be someone in the
Hank
NHL. It
wants
could
to
be
hear.
someone you grew up watching. If
Tyler
you-
just wants to hear his own name.
yeah,
That's
but
what
don't
that's what
say
gets his-
Tyler. Who's your
that's what's gonna get his
inspiration?
rocks off. I mean, shit. I mean,
It doesn't even have to be a
Um,
hockey player. Who inspires you to go out there and play every day?
I guess I could honestly, to be honest with you, I could really just say my dad. I mean,
Mhm.
as a little kid growing up, I mean, this guy, he, as a boiler inspector, he was able to weld, a professional grade goalie net for me because the very first sport I played was soccer. I maybe spent 1 or 2 days in practice at defenseman, and then on the 3rd or 4th day, the coach was like, "Do you want to try goalie?" And I was just like, "Okay." So I pretty much spent the rest of my career there. So my dad was like, "All right, instead of just practicing there, on days that you don't have practice, we'll just practice here." So he was able to, have the guys at his shop, weld together, pieces so he can fit and to make a professional grade, soccer net. And we were just being the back, and he would just, just continuously work and whatnot.
Hey,
And
Mitch is the best
That's
soccer
awesome.
goalie I know.
For those that don't know, that's a shot at Tyler Arnold. Not only loves presents, but was a varsity goalie. For
We
our
should
high
bring
school.
both of them to the soccer field and just
That could
see
be
who can
great.
say more.
I am very down
For the
for that.
YouTube channel. That'll be a good one.
Very
that-
down for
That's
that.
no problem.
I mean, I will
We'll
personally
kick him
say
too,
my-
so it won't be like high. Like
Yeah, I can't.
Mitch can stop us. It'll be pretty fair, I think.
it's been it's been
Been known to pull
24
off a Messi though.
No,
Mitch
it's,
goes out there with the
I have
scorpion save.
really bad knees though, and a bad.
All
back
right,
and my
Dave
neck.
Portnoy, Mr.
No, I'm
Excuses.
no, I'm dead. You know I have bad knees.
So
I
the pro-
do. I
Tyler,
do.
the
And
problem
Dave
is-
Portnoy also has a bad neck, but he doesn't have a
Dude,
problem
I
telling you
hurt
about
my
it every 5
Portnoy-
seconds.
I hurt my
Portnoy
neck
has
so
bad
bad.
Dave,
everything,
all right,
but
Dave.
Dude, I'm serious. I have a bad neck. All right, guys, we got under like 2 minutes here, so
No,
we're
so
gonna
I'm
wrap.
gonna a quick counterpoint. Portnoy has bad legs, bad ankles, bad
He's a
knees,
hero.
bad
Though.
neck, and he's still able to stop shots from Austin Matthews, Matt Martin, and
Yeah, but then
He's a
once they
hero.
score, he complains about it.
He's a hero because that's
Because
not, they probably
he's an
cheated. I'm with
excuse
Dave
me.
on
That's
that
what
one.
all
Dave,
people
you're-
from Boston
They
are.
probably cheated. All right,
Which
Mitch. Mitch, we're gonna wrap up the show now. We are running out of time here, unfortunately. What's one thing you learned today, Mitch?
I learned that Tyler still has a fascination with politics, and there's still a lot more to poke the bear at in regards of myself. I learned that Corey.
Mitch, what's one thing you learned today?
He's going through everyone. Let him go through everyone.
No,
Yeah,
Corey.
no,
What's
I'm gonna go
Corey?
through. No, I'm gonna.
No, Mitch. We got under a minute. Corey, what's one thing you learned today?
That Mitch has wet dreams every night.
Tank, what's one thing you learned today?
That I'm Mitch's inspiration for hockey.
Oh,
That's true.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Hey,
Alright.
do you guys know who loves presents?
Today's word of the day, Mitch.
This guy.
Who loves
Like-
presents, Teats?
That guy down there in the red shirt. Tank.
Mitch, who loves presents?
All right, thanks
Country.
everyone for watching. You can find us on SoundCloud at 3 Dudes 1 Zoom, on YouTube on the same name, 3 Dudes 1 Zoom. Please check it out, like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you all for listening.
Peace out, boys.
Shout out Sticky M2 for his sponsor.